In this video, I'd like to talk about two audio companies that are essentially my favorite audio companies, primarily with regards to DACs, and that is Chord Electronics and Schiit Audio. I've reviewed Schiit Audio stuff in the past in my channel, as well as Chord Electronics, and I have to say, if I didn't own my current setup, which is the Chord Hugo TT2 headphone amplifier, preamp, and DAC, along with the Chord M scaler, I would definitely own a probably Schiit Audio Yggdrasil DAC and one of their amps. I'm not sure which one at this present moment. So let's talk about what's similar with these two companies and why I like them in terms of specifically their DAC designs, but also, their amplifier designs are also quite good as well. The main thing that they have in common is they don't use off-the-shelf DAC chips. They have a in-house DAC designer that actually designs their DACs, both of them. So they're not just like other audio companies that are just buying off-the-shelf DACs and putting them in there and saying, there you go, there's your DAC. They're actually not doing that at all. They're both companies custom design their DACs sort of in a artisanal way, for lack of a better word. Now, they do it in very different ways. The DACs have different topologies. The Chord Electronics DACs use a FPGA DAC system, which is programmed by the DAC designer Rob Watts, whereas the Schiit Audio DACs use primarily, I believe, AKM DAC chips, which are put together inside the DAC and designed and tuned by Mike Moffett of Schiit Audio. But they're not just normal off-the-shelf DAC chips where it's where it's a pre-built DAC where you just plug it into your audio equipment and there's your DAC. These are custom designed DACs, so I really like that aspect of it. I generally don't like DACs that are off the shelf, where you just plug them into your audio equipment and then voila, you have your DAC. One of the most popular off-the-shelf DAC companies these days is called ESS. A lot of companies use the ESS DAC chips. Most companies probably, for especially lower price DACs, like Topping, I believe, uses them. AudioQuest uses them in their Jitterbug, and many, many other companies. And I just don't like the way that those DAC chips sound. To me, they sound sort of brittle. They sound kind of digital. They don't sound very analog to me. And just every time I hear them, I can always usually pick them out. So yeah, if I didn't have my current Chord stack, which is about like an $11,000 system, I would instead have a Schiit Audio stack, which would cost me a lot less, but that doesn't sound as good as the Chord stuff. The Chord stuff is definitely a cut above, but so you definitely do get what you pay for here. But for the price, the Schiit Audio stuff is really nice. And one of the other things I like about Schiit Audio is they make all their stuff in the USA. In fact, right here in California, although recently I heard that they are opening up a location in Corpus Christi, Texas. So I think they're going to start building stuff in Texas as well as California. And pretty much all of their components and everything are sourced from the USA, except the actual source chips that they're using are from a company called AKM, which I believe is based in Japan. But they're not necessarily using off-the-shelf, audio DAC chips. In fact, some of those AKM DAC chips that Schiit uses or has used in the past were actually not even for audio originally. They were for the medical field, to use in DACs or ADCs in the medical field, actually. And then Mike Moffett of Schiit Audio has sort of configured them to be used for audio. So they're not just like they're not just standard off-the-shelf audio DAC chips. But yeah, if I didn't have my Chord Electronics stuff already, I would have the Schiit Audio Yggdrasil DAC and one of their amps. I'm not sure which one. I have owned the Schiit Gungnir DAC before, and I've done a review of that. So check the top right. Try to post a link to that. I was actually one of the very early customers of Schiit Audio. I started out with the Schiit Audio Lear headphone amplifier along with the Bifrost DAC. In fact, I don't know if I did review those on my channel or not, but if I did, I'll post a link up there on the top right. And then subsequently in between there, I've had the Schiit Audio Gungnir as well as the Mjolnir 2, and I've reviewed both of those in my channel as well. And then in between, I had a lot of other stuff. But now that I've got the Chord Hugo TT2 as well as the M scaler, it's the best that I've heard so far, and I really enjoy the setup. So I just have no reason to replace those or anything at this point. But when I had the Schiit Gungnir DAC as well as the Molnir 2 amplifier, I did definitely enjoy those quite a bit, especially for the price paid for them. But in terms of how Schiit audio sounds versus Chord electronics, you can't really compare. I mean, Chord electronics is on a whole nother level. It's much higher, much better. But they do have some similarities, as I've discussed in this video. They're probably my two favorite companies for DACs in the audio realm at this point right now currently. And that's why I decided to do this video. Thanks for watching. Questions, comments, or feedback, please feel free to leave them. And I'll see you in the comments field. And see you in my next video.